Let's talk about that Smithsonian infographic that has sparked so much debate because it accidentally proves the point it's trying to undermine. The infographic lists traits it labels as whiteness or white culture, like rugged individualism, self reliance, the nuclear family, emphasis on the scientific method, hard work, planning for the future, respect for law and property, and a focus on time, structure, and achievement. And my question is simple. If these traits are so toxic, why did they build one of the most stable, prosperous, opportunity rich countries on earth? A country that millions of people from every race, religion, and region still try to get into. Because you can argue about history all day, but you cannot argue with outcomes. A culture that rewards work, values education, protects property, and expects people to follow rules and tends to produce functioning institutions. Functioning institutions produce safety, jobs, innovation, and upward mobility. That's why America became a magnet, not because Americans are perfect, but because the system works better than the alternatives. Now, I want to be careful with the third world comparison. It's not that people in poorer countries are inferior. They're not. The issue is institutional culture. In many developing countries, the opposite incentives are common and well documented. Weaker rule of law, higher corruption, less predictable courts, more nepotism and patronage, less trust that hard work will be rewarded, and more instability that makes long term planning difficult. That's not an insult, it's a reality economists and development experts talk about constantly. When contracts aren't enforced, when property isn't secure, when government is corrupt, when violence is normalized, and when the system rewards connections over competence, you don't get broad prosperity, you get people trying to leave. So when the infographic treats things like objective thinking, planning for the future, hard work, delayed gratification, respect for authority, and protecting property as suspicious, it's basically criticizing the operating system that makes a modern country run. You can debate whether those traits should be called white at all because they're not biologically white. They're civilizational, they're learned, and they're available to anyone. That's why immigrants who adopt these norms often thrive here, and why communities that reject them tend to struggle anywhere. If the culture in that infographic was truly the villain, America wouldn't be the destination, it would be the warning. But it's not. People don't risk everything to get into a country built on bad values. They risk everything to get into a country built on values that work.